Lisa is the most photographed woman in K-pop. At any given moment, thousands of lenses are trained on her, documenting every public move. But the megastar in the spotlight began as someone else, a young girl in Thailand named Pranpriya Manoban. Her identity shifted early on. Following a fortune-telling session that promised her a life of praise, she changed her name to Lisa. Since then, her life has been a series of high-speed transitions. To see how she manages that transition, we have to look past the stadium tours and the accolades. We have to look at the physical objects she chooses to keep when the cameras are supposed to be off. These private collections offer a different perspective on the person behind the global persona. While she often covers them to comply with South Korean broadcast regulations, Lisa has spent years curating a collection of hidden tattoos. Some are tied to her career, like the word Rockstar on her arm, or the name of her label, Lloud, on her ankle. Others are purely personal. She has an edelweiss, her favorite flower, tattooed on her waist. And on her other ankle, there's a dolphin. It's a tribute to a plushie her mother gave her for luck when she first moved to Korea, a small, permanent reminder of where she started. For Lisa, these aren't random designs. They act as a physical map of her memories, staying with her even as her surroundings constantly change. Offstage, her world is centered around a group she calls the L family, a collection of 5 cats and a dog that serve as her primary support system. The family has its own internal structure. Luca, her second cat, is actually the biological father of her third, Lily, creating a literal family unit within her home. Lisa has mentioned that during rough patches, the simple act of hugging her cats makes the stress go away. They are a constant, quiet presence in a life that is otherwise incredibly loud. It's a way for her to maintain a space where she isn't a global icon, but simply an owner coming home to her pets. That grounding continues in her hobbies. She is a frequent visitor to vintage shops in Seoul, often hunting for specific pieces in Hongdae. Her style is influenced by classic cinema. She studies the costumes in old movies and immediately goes out to find pieces that mirror those historical looks. She documents this world through her own lens, using an extensive collection of analog cameras, including high-end Leicas. Even her choice in food is about staying connected. Despite the strict expectations of her industry, she relies on traditional dishes like Gamjatang, a spicy pork spine soup. She describes this soul food as a way to feel happy inside out, providing normalcy. By stepping behind the camera and seeking out vintage artifacts, she shifts from being the subject everyone is watching to being the observer herself. The tattoos, the pets, the vintage films, and the analog cameras aren't just accessories. They're the components of a private sanctuary she's built for herself. These artifacts are the tools she uses to stay connected to the name she started with, Pranpriya, while the rest of the world watches the star, Lisa. It shows that even the biggest global icons are often sustained by the smallest, most private connections. Which of Lisa's artifacts surprised you the most? Tell us in the comments and subscribe for more.